Okay, this is the second video on my experience going 540 days without pornography and masturbation. I'm going to share with you three main things. Number one, how did I manage to succeed in staying pure for so long? Number two, what are the benefits I've genuinely experienced? And I've got a few stories that I'll be sharing with you. So if you are the kind that's interested in stories, stay tuned. Number three, were there any cons, any disadvantages to going 540 days without pornography and masturbation? So let's get into it. Number one, how did I manage to succeed staying pure for so long? I'll say it again. The most difficult part of NoFap, of stopping masturbation and pornography, is going to be the first 30 days. Now, I mean it in the way that the urges are the strongest, the recent relapse is still in the back of your mind, haunting you. Maybe you reset your counter to 0 and your mind games are at the maximum right here. Now, how I actually succeeded in kick-starting this streak, going plus and blasting through the 30-day mark, is something that I actually share in the book that I wrote entitled Zero to Hero, that is available on Patreon. But I'm going to still tell you this method that I use right now. On a list of your typical to-do list, write down the words purity and place a check box beside it. Write this down on your to-do list every single night and check that box when you succeed that day in staying pure. You see, the problem that I had is that sometimes I fail to set a very clear intention that I will not choose to fap. Now, you may relate. You may go through life sometimes, for many of you, in a passive daze. You scroll through your phone, you go on social media, you're still stimulated somehow when you go through all the social media, and then you start entering this trance state. And 2 hours later, you're there blowing your load. By writing down purity on a piece of paper, or any to-do list for that matter, the night before, you're setting a clear intention that you will stay pure. And in my experience, this daily setting of intention helped. And if it helped me, it will help you. Find that piece of paper, write it down so that there is a physical manifestation. Oh, I wrote the words purity. Write it down and start staying pure. Now, the second part to this equation is something that I used to mention a lot in my previous videos that you may or may not have heard of. It's this 4 magic words. The 4 magic words are: don't touch your dick. Don't touch your dick. It is simple, and it amazes me how effective this tip is. For many of us, it is near impossible for you to ejaculate hands-free. So let it stay that way. Commit to being hands-free. Even if and when the words appears, maybe you're scrolling, you're stimulated, you are in that state that you really want to do the deed, keep your hands off. Commit to this decision. Commit to this mantra, stick to it. And in terms of feeling sapped energetically, even if you do and still are watching pornography, but you do not ejaculate, you do not touch your dick, it is still beneficial in the physical sense that you did not release. And that is still going to be of some consolation, of some benefit, and you'll realize then that not touching your dick is going to be the key trick to going further in your streak and to actually getting the benefits. And I think most important of all, zooming out from all of this is to live the kind of life that you want to live. I don't really know that many men who actually dream of just staying cooped up in their room, shaking hands with their dicks, and just wasting their life away on a tissue paper. I don't really know any young boys that dream of that. When we were younger, we would dream of conquering, we would dream of this, we would dream of that. So don't let this bad habit prevent you from attaining the kind of life that you want. Unless what I just described is exactly the kind of life that you want. In that case, then you can also just do you. You have the free choice. Now, the third part to staying pure is what I call an identity shift. Now, this is also a very, very key lesson. I'm not that person. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person who watches pornography anymore. And there needs to be that identity shift. If the words, I'm a porn addict or I watch porn, you have to be very aware of the words that that you choose to associate with I. See, I enjoy staying pure. I am a man that enjoys staying pure. You see, you will always have a dissonance or a gap between your identity, who you are, and your action. And many a times, if your action and your identity misaligns, you will tend to act in a way that you believe that is who you are. The problem with, let's say, 90% of the world today is there are so many people that believe in behavioral shifts. Given the choice to try and shift identity or take action, there's a lot of hustlers, go-getters that say, oh, let me change my actions because it's all about the hustle. But, as it's written in the Bible, a good tree bears good fruits. This means that ultimately, who you are, the tree, will manifest outwards as the fruit that people can see. That means that your action will ultimately stem from your identity. Take a moment right now and reflect. Who are you? Like, what kind of labels have you been saying? I am lazy. I am weak-willed. I am... What kind of I ams have you really been saying to yourself? I'm a reject. Or I'm successful. I am this. I am that. I'm a musician. I'm a salesperson. I'm an engineer. I am. All these labels. If you say you're an engineer, you are very likely going to think like an engineer. Or you may be one of them that says, I may work as an engineer, but actually deep down, I'm not really an engineer. Words like that, they have meaning. What kind of words go through your mind? What kind of words have you been saying about yourself? Now, of course, some of you are going to have a rather bad in the sense that you're not achieving the kind of life that you want because your identity is simply not aligned with that person. But you know what? You can start shifting your identity bit by bit. Not just by your actions. Because if it's about your actions, then when your actions succeed, you will feel like you are that person. And when your action fails, you will feel that you are not. But we are going to shift directly your identity so that your actions will follow this identity such that when you do not take the proper action, you actually feel that dissonance because you are now that person. The way forward is to declare with your mouth and in your inner dialogue. Say it out. Thinking it is good, but say it out. Don't just think, I'm no longer someone who watches porn. Say it. I'm no longer someone who watches pornography. I'm not a porn watcher. I enjoy staying pure and working on improving my life. And even if you say it and you continue to not take the right action, you continue to fap, keep declaring, keep strengthening the identity side of the equation. Don't just focus on the action, strengthen the identity side of the equation. Don't allow guilt, don't allow setbacks to just make you feel defeated. I'm a victorious person. Say it. And somehow, with these encouraging words, you are in some sense encouraging yourself. You see, choose your own declarations. Now, the kind of words that I use will be different from the kind of words that you use. But you know the generic drill. Declare the positive in your life and see the positive in your life. I am hardworking. I am self-controlled. I am full of peace and joy. Declare it. Self-love. Self-declaration is something that men and women today need in abundance. Now, don't wait for other people to shower you with words of affirmation. Do it for yourself. Because honestly, other than God, who else can love you as much as yourself? Perhaps a mother's love. But who else is with you all the time but you? You have to be very aware of the inner dialogue that goes through your mind. Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Do it for yourself. Say words like, I am enough. I am clean. I am hardworking. And yes, you are. You are more than a conqueror. You are more than able. And for the believers among you, I declare that by the grace of God, you have overcome any addiction that you may have. And even for the non-believers, I also declare that for you. You see, these are words of faith. And when you speak words of faith into your life, your identity starts to shift. Have you heard of people who say, that's not me? That's exactly right. In their identity, that's not them. And it is so difficult to shift someone's action if it doesn't match their identity. Now, shift your own identity. Choose the kind of like a video game avatar that you want to be, and your actions will follow. Judge your actions with your identity and not the other way around. And that is the way of faith. And that is how I personally overcame. Now, I did still relapse 2 weeks back, as I shared in the first video, but I no longer am that person. So as long as my identity is still who I am right now, there is no way I'm going back into this becoming a habit, because I have overcome by the grace of God. Now, I realize that this video did become rather extended, so I'm going to continue on with the stories and the benefits and whatever I shared in the start on the next part of this video. So if you like this video, like it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again. Also, I do read your comments, and if there is like a serious thought behind your comments and you just think about it, write it down, I am very likely to respond to them as well. So if you want to apply the secrets to succeed in NoFap once and for all, if you're tired of an unproductive life, if you're tired of being lied to by people telling you that your life can change in a matter of days, visit my Patreon page in the description box. Support me at the Unapologetic Warrior tier and above, and then get the book that I'm writing and apply the hacks right now to win in life.